Yo, what's going on guys? ALYX here, and today I want to talk about Steam sales, Steam Black Friday sales to be specific. Basically, in another hopefully helpful video, I wanted to bring your attention to a few of the games that are currently on sale as part of Black Friday deals. Some of these are fantastic titles. It includes a couple of personal favorites from this year, so if you guys haven't had a chance to check these games out, now might be a good chance to grab them. Keep in mind it's part of the Black Friday sales, so if you want to take advantage of the discounts, you might want to grab them soon. So if you guys do enjoy this, you do find this helpful, then a like would be super appreciated. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you picked up any games from the Black Friday sales? If so, which ones? What are you playing right now? I want to know. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you guys enjoy this kind of content and you find this helpful. So, kicking it off in at number 1, we have DEATHLOOP. We covered this earlier on in the year, of course, the new title from Arcane, featuring their signature gameplay style, of course, a fantastic first-person shooter with the interesting angle of course, working around a timed system, kind of like Majora's Mask, albeit with guns. Slightly different. Anyway, the point is, if you guys haven't seen it, the aim of the game is to take down some of the targets, but you need to do this all within a day, whilst also avoiding being killed by the rival assassin. So part of the game, part of the charm is of course playing through, learning the best routes, learning the best patterns, learning where enemies are at certain times in the day, so that eventually you can go back and do a complete run, take everyone out, and ideally win the game. It's a really cool system. We had a lot of fun playing it, so if you guys missed it, now might be a good chance to check it out, especially given that of course the multiplayer component of the game hinges on people invading your world. So I feel like it would be better to play it sooner rather than say when the game is 5 years old and maybe people aren't playing anymore. Moving on from there, we have Nioh 2, which is a fantastic title. Of course, if you guys like your Soulsborne titles, which I know some of you guys do, you guys have been enjoying the Elden Ring content, you guys have enjoyed the stuff like that, you know that I enjoy these games, and I recently played through Nioh 2 this year with Soxy Bear and another friend as well, and we had a bunch of fun with it, playing it through in co-op. You could of course play it traditionally solo if you want, but basically, if you like your Soulsborne style games, punishing difficulty, but you also like the added factor of just a bajillion loot items, a ton of loot, so many build permutations, so many weapons, so many just like options in gameplay. Nioh 2 is a fantastic title, featuring loads of Japanese yokai, of course all the sort of Japanese theme. It's a very good game, basically. I really enjoyed it, and if you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. Next up, we of course have Back 4 Blood, the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, for those of you guys that like the survival co-op zombie shooter experience. Honestly, me, as somebody that is not even necessarily a zombie fan, I had a lot of fun playing this with some friends, playing it with the homies. It is just some good fun to jump in and either work cooperatively to, take down hordes of zombies and try and survive, or of course there are the sort of versus modes where some of you can play as the monsters and the zombies, some of you can play as the hunters, the humans. Honestly, if you guys like Left 4 Dead, then it's kind of just more of that. Next up, for those of you guys that want your loot fix, you have Borderlands 3. Of course, this came out quite a while ago, but it is a game that has a ton of content to enjoy, a ton of weapons and whatnot. Of course, you have crazy vault hunters, lots of abilities, and a pretty big, expansive world to explore through. We've done a ton of content on the channel, had a lot of fun with it when it first came out. Admittedly, not a game that I play too much more these days. I feel like I've done everything I needed to in Borderlands, but if you haven't experienced it at all, then it does have a lot of content to offer. Then, as one of my personal highlights of games that I played this year, definitely one of my Game of the Year nominations, Tales of Arise. Fantastic title, of course, the next target in the Tales of series. I love the Tales of games. If you guys like JRPGs, but maybe turn-based RPGs are not your jam, Tales of Arise has a real-time action combat system. It is over the top. Some people, it's maybe a bit too over the top, with people constantly shouting their move names, lots of flashy particles going on screen. It can get a bit overwhelming, but honestly, the game does a fantastic job of introducing you to the mechanics in a sort of staggered manner. So eventually you get to the point where at the end of the game you are pulling off crazy combos, doing insane moves, and it just feels badass. It's a wide linear game as well, so of course you do have some of the open nature areas to explore, but it is not as daunting as some other JRPGs. This will not necessarily take you hundreds of hours to complete. If you just want to golden line the experience, you can do it in about 50 or 60 hours, and it is a fantastic game. So definitely don't sleep on this one. This one is 100% one of my favorite games I've played this year. Then if you need something to scratch the Elden Ring itch, you have Dark Souls Remastered. I mean, basically, it's Dark Souls, it's remastered. If you never played the original Dark Souls, it's a fantastic chance to go back. If you are waiting for Elden Ring, I mean, look, you got some stuff to keep you busy. You got plenty of options. You can go back and play Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, play whatever you want. But given that this is on sale, if you want something to kind of train yourself up, get yourself ready for Elden Ring, this might be a good pick. Then if you guys like delivering packages and taking slow walks through harsh environments, then Death Stranding is also on sale. Of course, Hideo Kojima's game. This is definitely one of those mixed ones. It does have a great story, if you can of course see it through to the end. I know the gameplay is not for everybody because it is quite slow paced. I mean, there is more to the game than just delivering packages, jokes aside. But while it might not be for everyone, if you haven't played it and you do want to experience Kojima's newest story, then consider this one. Then another game on the list that is a personal favourite of mine from this year, Death's Door, a fantastic indie game. You play as a crow who basically has to go around and track down souls in these sort of dungeons, but effectively it is an isometric sort of action RPG going through sort of sprawling environments, going to dungeons, defeating bosses, solving some puzzles, that kind of stuff. It's just such a charming game. It has amazing visuals, the combat just feels really nice, and this was definitely a sleeper hit game that sort of came out this year, and it just played so well. It's available on pretty much all platforms. In fact, it actually came out on PlayStation this week as well, but of course on sale, it's on Steam. Guilty Gear Strive, for those of you guys that are fighting game fans, of course Arc System Works are the goats when it comes to 2D fighters, and Guilty Gear is no exception. It has fantastic characters, fantastic combat, fantastic gameplay. Everything about this game is so much fun, and while admittedly they might have simplified a few things if you've played some of the previous games, if you have never touched a Guilty Gear game before, I feel like it's a great place to jump in. If you like your fighters, you like your 2D fighters, don't sleep on this. Then for the VR fans out there, you have Half-Life ALYX. I have not completed this game. I played through the first few hours in it. Honestly, I'm not someone that necessarily dives into VR too much. I'll be honest, Half-Life ALYX is the only VR game that I played that actually made me feel sick. I'm normally pretty good playing VR games, but don't let that put you off. The point is, if you like your VR experiences, from what everyone has said, this is one of the best VR games out there. Of course, continuing the Half-Life saga, so if you're invested in either VR or Half-Life or both, then this is on sale. If you're looking for a co-op game, then It Takes Two. This game actually made it into the Game of the Year nominations this year, of course, for Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, so that's saying something already. This is a co-op adventure where you embark on the craziest journey of your life. You can invite a friend and kind of adventure through the world and overcome puzzles, challenges, and everything that awaits you. So if you're looking for one of those games that you can sit down maybe at the holidays and play with a friend, this might be one for you. Outriders again, of course, for those of you guys wanting a loot fix. Admittedly, this is a game that I kind of passed up on. I played this before it came out originally, and it didn't quite click for me. However, there are, of course, people that are still playing to this day. They are continuing to sort of add updates and things like that. So if you guys, again, like your sort of a Destiny, Division, looter style experiences, this is not a game as a service in the conventional sense. It is of course a game that you can, quote unquote complete, but if you want something you can kind of play through a la kind of Borderlands, get some loot, have some fun, fight some bosses, then you might want to check this out. Persona 5 Strikers is another one on sale. This, of course, is Persona, but with the sort of Muso hack and slash style combat. So instead of your kind of traditional JRPG setup, it is instead much more action-based. But if you perhaps want to experience a Persona world without necessarily sinking hundreds of hours into your conventional JRPG story, then maybe this is for you. There's also a bunch of Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and Resident Evil Village. If you guys know Resident Evil, then you know what to expect. But all of those games that I listed are on sale. Of course, Resident Evil Village being the newest one. If you want to go and be chased down by an 8-foot tall lady, then maybe pick this up. But your boy doesn't like scary stuff, so this is not for me. I'm not grabbing these in the sale, but it might be for you. You also then have Valheim for the Viking fans out there, or the ones that want some kind of co-op survival experiences. This of course allows you to explore a game world for 1 to 10 players. It takes place in a procedurally generated world, of course inspired by Viking culture. You build, you battle, you conquer your way to a saga worthy of Odin's patronage. Basically, if you want your survival experience in co-op with some homies, then this is for you. Then next up you have Monster Hunter World. This is on sale again. I mean, if you're on this channel, I probably don't need to tell you what Monster Hunter World is, but just in case, Monster Hunter World, of course, chance to fight giant monsters, carve them up, make badass armor out of them, badass weapons. It's a fantastic game. If you haven't played it and you maybe want to get into Monster Hunter, I would highly recommend picking this up. It is probably one of the best places to jump in. It helped bring Monster Hunter to so many more people. This, of course, is one of Capcom's biggest selling IPs, and for good reason. Not only is Monster Hunter World a fantastic title, it of course has the expansion Iceborne, but if you have never played a Monster Hunter game before, I would highly recommend playing this. It's a fantastic series. It has so much to offer. Monster Hunter World is full of content, tons of post-launch support. Obviously, that's finished now because the game's complete, but it means if you jump in, you have so many things to look forward to, so many quests, so many events. You definitely don't want to sleep on this. And then finally, Horizon Zero Dawn, of course. if you guys are looking forward to Horizon Forbidden West next year and you haven't played the game just yet, then this is your perfect opportunity to jump in, because of course Horizon Zero Dawn is also on PC now, so if you have missed it and you're maybe looking forward to the game next year, then I would highly recommend jumping in. Has a fantastic story, it's a game you definitely don't want to miss, so consider checking that out. But that's pretty much it. That's a little rundown on some of the games in the Steam Black Friday sales. Again, if they do interest you, then make sure you grab them while you still can. Not entirely sure exactly how long they'll be on sale for. Some of them have varying time windows, so basically, if you saw it in the list and you're like, I need to play this, just don't hang around too long. Anyway, hope you found this helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments down below and keep it locked for plenty more. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to catch more from us, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our latest uploads. And if you want somewhere to hang out, play games, or chat all things from games to anime, food to fitness, consider joining the ALYX Gaming Discord.